Hi there. Welcome to Bible/Chat. Jason was just saying he's always ready, and then saying actually he's not always ready.
No, I'm just kidding. Theological.
A theological rumble. Here we are in the theological octagon. Okay, so we're talking about missions. We had a couple of videos on missions.
We did.
We talked about, obviously, ladies in missions, and then missions as churches connecting to other churches being sent. And obviously that implies that every Christian, every believer should be connected to a local church. That's how we actually participate in missions on a global level, right?
Yep.
But then I want to ask a couple other questions about missions.
Yeah. Let's do it.
The first one is, biblically, why do we support missionaries? I mean, why don't they just support themselves? Or why don't they just plant a church and then the church there supports them? Why do we support them?
Yeah,
and then sort of the secondary component to that is, like, what about a person who says, well, I sort of have this inkling for missions. What should I do if that's in my heart? I'm worried about money. I'm worried about like direction.
That's
how do I know?
Question.
So how do we build that?
So the first question in terms of why we support missions was the biblical basis of that. I think one of the part one of that answer is it may not be I mean, I'll support it biblically, but I think there's a good pragmatic reason for that. And a lot of times the people who go into these places, they tend to be maybe poorer places or just not as affluent as America. So that's one. But even if it is, let's say Western Europe or something, it's hard. You know, it's not like they're going in and then there's a church of 500 people giving offering and it just, or 100 people even. And in these places where Christianity is dead or has died and they're trying to revive all of that and do a new work, they don't have that theology built in American and evangelicalism where people give and there's offering, and it's just not there yet. And they have to teach that and build that up carefully and slowly. But also biblically, like Paul asked for support. And the church at Philippi, for example, gave him support. Through Epaphroditus, who almost died giving support.
Getting support to him.
But he brought like physical things. You know, and Paul asked for things from Timothy, right? To bring the parchments and the cloak and I mean, so like there were gifts, and Paul says, it's not that I sought the gift, actually, but my motive was I wanted to see your love in Christ and that fruit being born in your life, which will actually glorify Christ and will be for your benefit spiritually. But Paul did ask. In Romans, at the end of Romans, he also talks about the same sort of issue as well, receiving gifts. 1 Corinthians, right, 8 and 9. There as well, where churches would help other churches, but churches would help the work of the gospel, missions work, advancing the gospel. The clearest example, I think, or maybe 1A, 1B, in 3 John, you know, where John says, I have these guys who are brothers in Christ, and they're going to come to you. Okay? This church, wherever they are in Asia Minor, right? They're going to come to you, and they've gone out. Then he says, you do well to send them on their journeys. They're on some kind of missionary journey. He says, send them out in a manner worthy of God. You're like, well, what does that mean? Just pray for them? Like, have them up at the beginning of the service? Or like, what? He goes, he says, why should you do this, first of all? They've gone out for the sake of the name of Christ. And look at this, accepting nothing from the Gentiles, meaning money, goods. And then verse 8, therefore, we ought to support people like these, that we may be fellow workers for the truth. So 2 parts there. One is we become participants in the gospel, which is exactly what also Paul tells the church at Philippi. You were participants with me. You were fellowshipping with me in the gospel by helping me. It's like you're there with me as I'm suffering with the Praetorian Guard.
Totally.
And then the second thing is we ought to, the support part is, this is something physical. This is like financial, this is goods. This is not just, you know, be warmed and filled. But like, you know, you have that desire, you have that heart, like put your money where your mouth is type of a thing. So
actually, the Bible does actually, it is like not just principial, but it does really call us to do this. And it says that when we give, then we're actually participants with the missionary, the worker.
That's an amazing reality. You're actually, you know, you're not there with boots on the ground, let's say, but you are like, there's a spiritual unity and fellowship that's taking place as they're preaching the gospel. In your support of them, you're holding them up, and you're pushing them and making sure that they're able to continue to do that work. Without you, they couldn't do it. But God has ordained that means and ends to all fit together so perfectly.
All come together. Oh, that's fascinating.
The second question, right?
Maybe we should make another video.
Yeah, we should make another video. Keep this one short.
All right. Well, thank you so much. I hope that's helpful for you. If you are interested in giving to missions, we have a couple missionaries that our church supports, and they're always trying to raise support. It's difficult when you're on the field.
It's really hard.
And so feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to fill you in on some of the people that might be helpful people to support and care for, who are truly doing this work of preaching the gospel cross-culturally.
Yep.
Thanks so much.